Hello, I am back. It has been a very long time since I've posted anything on my YouTube, particularly anything where I've been sat down just talking away. Life just did life stuff and got in the way, and I was disorganized, and I've been moving flats and been on a part-time acting course and been auditioning for things and recently changed jobs, so it's just been a really hectic time. But as you can see, most likely from the title of the video, I am going to be talking about how I got my disabled Instagram account back, and hopefully if a similar thing has happened to you, this will really help you. It was an absolute minefield when it happened to me. There was no easy sort of how to. The Instagram support was shocking. And to be honest, I actually thought I was probably never going to get my account back. I even created a new account because I was just like, it's gone, let's just accept it. So yeah, I was very surprised when I finally got it back. It was a real relief. I had so many pictures on there from when I was in sixth form and sort of with my old friends from school. Because I posted them on Instagram, I thought, oh well, they're online now, they're safe, they're never going to go anywhere, so I would have deleted them off my phone. So I'm a very sentimental person, and I was just so devastated that I'd lost so many memories. So I will start the story from the beginning, and then I'll talk about what I did. It was a very much trial and error in terms of trying to get my account back. It was around sort of Halloween time, October last year. I appreciate this has been a fair while since then in terms of me talking about this and getting a video out. As I said, I've been very, very busy and also very disorganized. Also, there are children playing outside, like right outside the window, so hopefully they're not too noisy and it's not going to affect the video. So yeah, it was October last year. It was, I can't remember the exact date, but it was sort of a couple of days or a day before Halloween. I just remember that it was around the time of Halloween. And I was working from home and I was kind of bored, sort of in between doing work. And I was just having a good old classic stalk on Instagram, as you do. And I was looking at someone's profile, and I don't even know why actually, I was kind of jumping back and forth sort of between their followers and kind of looking at who they were following and then who was following them and then looking at their profile. Everyone's done that, everyone's had a little stalk, and I was just down the rabbit hole. And my personal theory as to why my account got deactivated, because I was basically clicking on and off this person's profile in their friends list, and then suddenly it was just like, droom, like logged out. And I was like, that's weird. I tried to log back in, it wasn't working. I remember thinking maybe Instagram's gone down, like what's going on? I messaged my friend, or I messaged someone, or I googled to see if Instagram was down, couldn't see anything about that. And so I kept trying to log back in, and it kept saying to send me a code, and then I'd input the code, and then whenever I inputted the code, it just wasn't working. So I'd input the code and it would come up with, we're sorry, but something went wrong, please try again. And that's when I started to get a bit suspicious. And obviously now that I know what happened, so my personal theory as to why I got chucked out of my account and why my account got deactivated is from all my research at the time. I was watching YouTube videos, I was looking online, I was looking at forums, seeing what I could do, because as I mentioned, Instagram Help Center was atrocious. And from all my research I was doing at the time, it seemed to me like Instagram doesn't have actual people that check anything. I don't believe so anyway, or not that many. The majority of checks on people's accounts are done by bots. And I think the bot probably thought it's a bot, but probably kind of ascertained that the way that I was moving around on the app, like clicking on a profile, clicking off a profile, like going through a friend list, basically being a little stalker, it probably thought that I was actually being a serious stalker, like I was just moving around in a really suspicious way. when really I was just actually very bored. So that's my theory. Obviously it all got shut down. I was trying to log back in. I was trying to use the code that it sent me. The code wasn't working. This went on kind of all day. By the end of the day, there were a lot of tears as I came to terms with the fact that Instagram help center was awful. Everywhere I looked online was saying different things to do. Nothing seemed to sort of know how to actually fix it when this happens. And I'd suddenly come to the realization that I'd lost all of my memories and all of my photos. And I guess it was just that feeling of being really out of control of something. I really don't like feeling like I'm not in control of something that's mine. I don't think anyone does really. So I think it just kind of really destabilized me. It was pretty horrible. I was pretty sad that evening. The next few days I was carrying on doing research, looking up on YouTube videos what to do. Everyone seemed to be saying different things. What I started using was a form which I'd seen on another person's YouTube video, and it was basically a form where you fill in your kind of query or your issue and send it off, and then they're meant to get back to you. So I did that. There's an Instagram one and a Facebook one, both for an Instagram account being shut down, and I'll include both forms in the link below because I personally think for me the forms did absolutely nothing, but I do know from some of the YouTube videos I was watching at the time of other people trying to fix the same issue that some people seem to think that the forms worked. So I'll include them in the link just in case, so that you've got another option to try. Oh yeah, I just remember something. So another thing that was really stupid is at first the forms weren't even working for me. So these forms that people were using to try and get their account back, or to try and appeal that their account had been shut down in error, I tried and I was trying to use them, and then it came up saying, confirm your account to request a review. Go to Instagram and confirm that it's you before requesting a review. So whenever I tried to press send, it would come up with that message. It did it on the Facebook one and it did it on the Instagram one. Confirm your account to request a review. Now, the issue was, at that point, I don't have an account to go to confirm that it's mine to request a review. I'm really struggling to say that word, request a review. And so then I was just like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Like, how is their help this flawed, where it's kind of sending me around in circles and I'm just like not able to even send my actual query or my complaint because it's telling me to go to my account, which I can't do because my account's been shut down. And it just felt like I was hitting my head against a brick wall. It was so frustrating. So those forms initially for me just weren't working at all. Obviously it kept telling me I needed to validate or prove that it was me, blah, blah, blah. That went on for a while. And I think that was actually something that was unique to me, because when I was doing my research and looking on forums and looking at other people's YouTube videos, it didn't seem like anyone else had that problem with the forms, which was even more frustrating because I was even more at a dead end. After a while, that message stopped happening and I was able to use the forms as normal. What happens with these forms is they then send you an email basically asking you to send a photo with a number. So they send you a number and they ask you to write it down on a piece of paper and then send in your photo. So I did that, and then I basically kept doing that for a few days. That was like my life, just filling out these forms, getting these emails with the number and writing it down and sending a photo. And it seems like a lot of people had a similar thing. They just didn't, they say that they'll get back to you from you doing that, but you just don't hear anything. The photos are quite funny because I hadn't really slept that well. I'd been crying a lot around that time and I look pretty terrible. So there we are, I'll insert those now. Then there was another thing that I tried, which was like a phone number that I found online. That was useless. You had to call up, I think it went to somewhere in America, and you'd have to go through these options and then you'd have to leave a message with your problem or your question or whatever it is. They literally give you like 5 seconds to explain. So I'm there like waiting on the phone, trying to get through. And then it's like, please leave your message, da 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 da. And then I'm like trying to get it out as quickly as possible. And it's like, you're out. So every avenue that Instagram kind of provides for you to contact them or try and get something sorted was useless. Then I tried contacting WhatsApp, because I guess WhatsApp is linked with Facebook now and Instagram's linked with Facebook, so I thought maybe WhatsApp can help me. So I sent this email to WhatsApp. I was just laughing, it's so funny because I can hear how desperate I am in the email. Hello. That doesn't even make sense. I'm contact here to try and get a response from someone at Facebook, as I am really struggling to get any help and support. Basically, my Instagram account has been mistakenly described. Was I really out of it when I wrote this? I've never realised that there were all these mistakes in it. I must have been really distraught to the point where I couldn't communicate effectively. My Instagram has mistakenly described my basically my Instagram account has been mistakenly described. I'm guessing I mean deactivated. Well done, Mirren. I should have double checked that. And I cannot get through to anyone to help me. Please help me if you can. This is really affecting my stress levels, as I've potentially lost a lot of personal sentimental pictures. So I sent that to WhatsApp and got this reply. Thanks for your message. WhatsApp doesn't provide customer support for Facebook Messenger or Instagram. If you need assistance, please visit the relevant help centre. Yes, the same help centre that was literally no help, that I was trying to send a form on and I couldn't even send a form because it was trying to get me to log back into my account to prove it was me. Who designed this setup? So I continued my research, I continued watching YouTube videos, and a suggestion that came up from a few videos that I watched was a way of getting through to an actual person at Facebook. And the only way you can speak to a person at Facebook is if you have a Facebook business account. Now, I didn't have a Facebook business account, so I created one. So you need basically a Facebook business account, and you also need to have run an ad in the past. They really make you jump through hoops to get any kind of support. So I created a Facebook business account. I'm an actor, I do acting, so I thought I may as well just make one for that. So I made one for my acting, and then I tried to run an ad. For some reason, that wouldn't work. I kept trying to create this ad. I was trying to just run an ad for like £2 a day, something really cheap, which is actually, this is the thing that annoys me, because really I shouldn't be having to pay just to try and get access to speak to someone. But that's the problem with these huge tech companies, isn't it? They don't actually want to support or help anyone, but that's a whole other can of worms. So try to run an ad so that I could get to be able to speak to someone at Facebook, since that's what you need to have done to be able to speak to anyone at Facebook support. When I tried to run my ad, I got this message. This page isn't allowed to advertise. This is because the page didn't comply with one or more of our advertising policies or other standards, such as having too many ads rejected, attempting to circumvent our ad review process, participating in fraudulent behaviour, or associating with untrustworthy accounts. So tried to do that. That didn't work. Felt like I was back to square one again. And to be honest, at this point, I did just give up. I made a new Instagram. I thought, I'm never going to get it back. Good night, Vienna. Cut to 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. It had been some time. Cut to a fair few weeks later, I'd made peace with the fact that I'd lost my Instagram account. I mean, made peace is maybe a strong term, but I'd started posting on my new account. Because another thing that actually I found really upsetting about it is I'd lost so many connections of people that I'd met through acting jobs, and people that I probably wasn't necessarily going to bump into again, but I wanted to have kept in touch with. And yeah, that was really sad for me. But yeah, anyway, so I'd made a new Instagram account. I had started trying to build up some connections on that. I'd found some people that I had previously been connected with on my old account, but there were a lot of people that I just couldn't remember what their username was, or yeah, it was just a bit upsetting because I'm just quite a sentimental person, and yeah, Anyway, it had been some time and I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to try that ad one more time. So I logged into the Facebook business account, I tried to run the ad again. This time, for some reason, it worked. So I ran the ad and then I was able to connect to Facebook live support. And I connected with an absolute legend, Nelson. Nelson will always have a special place in my heart. Nelson saved the day. Nelson was a dude. And I will show some inserts of the messages here. So I sent the original query through and then I got connected to Nelson, my dude. So I put, "Hi Nelson, thank you for helping me." This is another tip I would say, just to be, I don't know if this makes any difference, but I just felt like I needed to be really courteous at this point. Even though I was so frustrated, I was like, I just need to keep my cool, be nice to this person. I really need them to help me. I was able to read from your message that Instagram account is disabled. Is that correct? That is correct. I know how important it is for you to get assistance, but if you are able to submit a form directly to Instagram teams, we are on the right path, but allow me to have a look at your Instagram account. May I kindly ask you to provide me your Instagram handle, please? Then obviously I told him my handle. I told him that the forms weren't working for me. I tried originally to submit the Instagram support forms, but heard nothing back from them. Yes, I understand that you need that issue solved as soon as possible, but Instagram team are overwhelmed with cases at the moment. Allow me a few minutes, please. So I allowed Nelson a few minutes. I'm still investigating your case. I'll need a few more minutes. Thank you for your patience. That's okay. I really appreciate your help. Just butter them up a bit more. Thank you for your time, Mirren. I cannot thank you enough. Stop it, Nelson. I already sent a request to our internal team. I will personally contact you regarding the outcome of your request. Can I kindly ask you to confirm your contact details? Then obviously I confirmed my contact details. Thank you for that information. I really hope you get your Instagram account back. I have my fingers crossed. Bless him. Regarding this matter, do you have any other questions? I put, do you have a rough idea of how long before I hear back? Aside from that, that's it. Thank you again. Our internal teams will let me know something in the next 24 to 48 hours. You are welcome, Mirren. I will contact you soon. Thank you again for contacting Facebook concierge support. Bougie. Us normal people don't get this kind of treatment. You have to bloody create a business account and pay money to run an ad, and then you get the concierge support. I see you, Facebook, and your biases. Okay, so then later, I think it was later that same night, I'm not 100% sure, but it wasn't that long, I got an email from Facebook. And this email is one of those, you know, when you're kind of expecting an email with good news, or maybe not necessarily expecting it, hoping for it, and you're sort of checking your inbox all the time. This was one of those moments where I looked at my emails and my heart just stopped, and I was trying to kind of, you know, when you can't even read it quick enough to take it in, I was just like, please be good news, please be good news. Then it basically says that I have my account back, that they appreciated that whatever I did, which I didn't actually do anything, it was definitely in complete error, but that I didn't mean to do it and just be careful for the future, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. I had my Instagram account back. The relief that day, it was just so good to know that I hadn't lost all those pictures. And I know it sounds really sad, but another thing that I was really upset about when I'd originally lost my Instagram account is the fact that it was around Halloween and I was really just wanting to scroll through and see what everyone had been wearing of Halloween. I'm quite nosy and I quite enjoy just having a scroll through and seeing what people are up to. And maybe it's a sign of our society and a sign of our times that I felt so cut off just from having my Instagram account shut down. I mean, that's probably a whole other issue and how we're far too addicted to our tech and our social media. But it was just shut down without my consent, and I think I had the right to feel upset about that, so allow me that. But yeah, I hope that this helped. I would say my biggest piece of advice, and what 100% definitely worked for me, is to create a Facebook business account. It doesn't even necessarily have to be for anything that you have a business in. It can literally just be a made up thing. They're not going to check it. You could just name it higgledy piggledy blah de blah, and create a business account, run an ad for £1 or £2 a day, just something really cheap. And once you've done that, you should be able to speak to a real person at Facebook and explain the situation. And I understand you shouldn't have to go through all that just to get support from a platform that you are using, because at the end of the day, with these kind of social media platforms, we basically are the product. So they need us more than we need them. What really frustrated me is how awful the service and the help was. And I just think, in the real world, if you went to a restaurant or you went to a shop or any kind of business establishment and you got really awful service, you wouldn't go back to it again and you'd tell people how bad it was. And it just frustrates me that these huge companies have so much power that I was the one that was having to jump through hoops and basically beg and grovel and pay to run an ad just to get my account back that had been deactivated in error. And it's just so ridiculous. But that's all I have to say on that matter. I hope that this video helped. I hope that if you're in a similar situation, it gave you some hope. And honestly, I would say just go down the Facebook business account support chat route. That is what worked for me. The other things didn't work for me. The forms didn't work for me. The leaving a message on the answer machine on Instagram's number did not work for me. Literally nothing else worked. It was just felt like I was going around in circles. So that's my piece of advice. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I don't normally post videos like this. Obviously, this is kind of like a one-off thing you can post a video about. My normal content is more astrology and fashion focused. So if you're into either of those things, may as well subscribe. Can't hurt. And hopefully see you next time. Bye.